On the third day after obtaining the flying Nimbus, Goku and Bulma arrived at the village where the fifth Dragon Ball was located. However, every household in the village had shut their doors tightly, the streets were completely deserted, and the atmosphere was eerie. Goku sensed human presence inside the houses, but after knocking and receiving no response, he broke into one of them, only to be struck on the head with an axe by someone inside. Although Goku's tough head took the blow without serious injury, a big lump still swelled on his forehead. The man inside quickly apologized and explained the situation. It turned out that the village had recently been terrorized by a creature named Oolong. Oolong could shapeshift, and no one had ever seen his true form. He specialized in abducting young girls to make them his brides, and several girls from the village had already been taken. At noon today, he was coming to take the man's daughter. The villagers were at their wits' end. Bulma took out a Dragon Ball and asked the villagers if they had seen something similar. An old woman produced the 6-star Dragon Ball. She proposed a deal. As long as Goku could get rid of Oolong, the Dragon Ball would be theirs. With Bulma's help, Goku dressed in girls' clothing and stood outside the house as bait. Around noon, Oolong appeared holding a bouquet of flowers. However, Goku suddenly felt an urgent need to pee and began trembling all over. Oolong mistook Goku's reaction for fear of his hideous appearance and immediately transformed into a handsome man, a look that made Bulma fall for him at first sight. Goku, unable to hold it any longer, dashed under a tree to relieve himself, which caused Oolong to see through the trap and, in a fit of rage, he transformed into a fierce bull. Goku immediately entered battle mode. Realizing that his transformation time was running out, Oolong fled in panic. A minute later, after his cooldown ended, he returned in the form of a robot, only to be hit by a slingshot wielded by a child. Frightened by Goku's strength, he panicked and transformed into a bat to escape. Goku quickly mounted his flying Nimbus and gave chase. Even when Oolong transformed into a rocket, he couldn't escape. In the end, Goku captured him and brought him back to the village. To everyone's astonishment, Oolong's true form turned out to be a timid and silly little pig. With Oolong's cooperation, the villagers successfully rescued the kidnapped children, and Bulma also successfully obtained the 6-star Dragon Ball.